What's up? Hey, what's up, guys? Here I am. I am recording live, and I am interviewing Marlon. Okay, let me give you a little.
Yo.
Let me give you a little background about who Marlon is. So, probably about a little bit over a year ago, I created a community where we all help each other out, and then I don't know. I just joined this community. It was ByDAO, right? Yeah.
That's the one, yeah.
And then I don't know, man. This guy Marlon, like everyone was like, whenever Marlon would comment, everybody would be all excited, and whenever he wouldn't comment, everyone would be like, "Where's Marlon at? Where's he at?" It's so lonely without Marlon. He just brought so much life and energy, and I was looking for someone like that with that energy, because I created a community, to help other people learn about crypto and make money. And so I reached out to Marlon and said, "Look, I like your energy, like-minded person, would love for you to be part of the group." Ever since then, man, him and I, we've been like really cool. We've been really tight, and we all just helping each other make money. But the reason why we have this, the reason why we have this AMA is because this is AMA about just two brothers, just talking about crypto, sharing our experience about our journey.
Shooting the breeze, baby.
Just shooting the breeze. And this is an hour of power, motivational talk about just crypto, and everyday life. So just imagine, you just talking to your friend and, just talking about crypto, and maybe we could get some epiphanies. And a lot of times when you hang around with negative people, and you talk to them, and then you leave, you didn't get anything productive in that conversation. But, I'm a positive person, and Marlon is like, positive to the 10th power, and that's the reason why I was like, I want to make an AMA where it just, it's just like, it's kind of like a soul food, when people hear it, they're like, man, this. I needed to hear that, I need to hear real people talk about crypto. Some people are just sick and tired of talking about crypto and tokenomics. Man, just talk about real life, man. So share everybody, people that don't know who you are, who is Marlon, and where you from, and how you got started in crypto, and share your crypto journey.
Okay, so as most of you know, the name's Marlon. I'm living in England, grew up in the UK, and man, how did my journey start? So like many people, I kind of got to a point where I was just on the 9 to 5 vibe. In fact, it wasn't even a 9 to 5 vibe. It was like working 2 jobs, and I started thinking to myself, I'm just slaving away, working these mad hours, not having a social life. There has to be more. And I got to a point where I just got sick and tired of just feeling like I didn't have a life, and I was just like a slave to the system, so to speak. And, it's interesting because I began to start thinking more about what can I do? How do I get out of this kind of trap that, I kind of found myself in? So, eventually I started trying different things, many people can probably relate, how to make money online, just looking at different things. And some of them were appealing, some weren't. Some I tried, and some didn't work. And amongst the things that I tried, I stumbled across Bitcoin. It must have popped up on YouTube or something. So I ended up just before the last bull run. Well, actually during the last bull run, I kind of, amongst the other things, I threw some money into that, and I made some profit. Didn't really know what I was doing, so I lost some profit. But I took some money out, and I made more than I put in, and I was like, wow, this Bitcoin thing, it's great. But then I got distracted, and then, I went off to do some other stuff. So I kind of think by the time I got into ByDAO, which is just before we met, Brian, that's when I realized that crypto is about the only thing that made any sense to me. So, I kind of picked up some bits and pieces along the way through YouTube. I found ByDAO through YouTube, funny enough, and then I've done a few more things. And I feel like I've kind of fast-tracked for a few things, but that's basically kind of how it was. It was just trial and error. I was very dissatisfied with the way that I was working. Wanted more financial freedom, and I guess when I started thinking different, my path sort of started to change, And I guess it's that old saying, you know, the difference between knowing the path and walking the path. But, you know, fast forward from, I'd say, I don't know, over 2 years to now I'm investing in crypto. Met you through Baidow, and I haven't looked back since. Obviously, I've got, you know, you graciously invited me into the ICE group, and it's just been fireworks, man. My learning acceleration has accelerated since, you know, being part of the group and hearing all the different knowledge. It's encouraged me to research and really, really get to understand this crazy space, which is the digital asset space. So it's been a tremendously wild ride, but yeah, it's been fantastic.
Wow, that's awesome.
I feel like I've missed out some stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And so I like how you shared that. Well, this is also important too, because, you know, I try to talk to some of my friends who they're very conservative. They're not all about taking risk. How would you tell people that they're used to just investing into like stocks? You know, crypto, it sounds foreign to them. How can you communicate to them in a dumbed down way, like why you need to invest into crypto instead of just regular stocks or just investing into real estate? You know, not that many people are investing into crypto. What would you say to them people?
That's a really good question, actually. I mean, I suppose the key thing that I heard when you were talking was like in a simple way explaining it, because I kind of think often people don't make decisions because fear and lack of understanding. So yeah, I would probably try and keep it quite simple and say something along the lines of the crypto market is basically an evolution of the stock market, but it's in its infancy in comparison to the stock market, which is why it's a wonderful time to get in, because there's less money and there's more volatility, and that's where it can get quite interesting. But then I would also say to them, you know, it's not something that you have to go all in on. You can try just a little bit, you know, just a little bit, just to kind of get your confidence. And I have to say, I've spoken to a few friends, and, you know, I have had a few friends kind of like start a wallet, and, you know, some of them have put in, you know, a couple of £100, some of them are dollar cost averaging. But it was just the kind of, I suppose, what helped other people that I was talking to understand it was the fact that you don't have to take massive risks, even though it seems like a scary sort of place to invest, that it's just investing and you're in control of how much money you put in. You know, I've had a couple of friends message me back and be like, oh, I've made some profits on this one, and then they start kind of looking. But yeah, I kind of think it's, you know, the idea that it's some big, scary, complicated thing is what puts people off. And actually, it doesn't have to be. You just have to start somewhere, baby steps, put in a little bit, you know, open a wallet, do a little bit of research, you know, talk to some, you know, YouTube is free. So I guess I would just keep it as simple and just explain that it's not hard. It feels like it's hard, but it's not.
So yeah. like what would you say? Okay, what is you? So you started out investing in crypto for about a year or so. What is the advice you would tell yourself? What would you tell yourself? You know, like what I know now, I wish I would have known when I first started investing in crypto.
Oh, that's a really good question, man. You're making me think today, man. You're making me think. If I could go back, what would I tell myself? No, it's a very good question. It's obviously not something I've ever considered before.
Yeah.
Right, so I would say research, and it's important to be part of a community, a decent community, because when I first got in, I didn't really have any knowledge and I didn't really have a community. I was just shooting in the dark, just trying different things. So yeah, research and being part of a genuine community, because it makes all the difference in the world. Yeah, I think that's what I told myself.
Right. So here's my next question. Okay, so here you are, you're about to prepare. Of course, you're in our group, so we're telling everyone to prepare for the end of this bull run. Okay, do you have like a strategy in how to take profits, or what is your exit strategy with your cryptocurrencies?
What is my, say that again? What is my exit strategy and what is my...
Yeah, what is your strategy in taking profits at the end of this bull run? So right now, currently, we have about 4 months left until Bitcoin reaches its all-time high, and then they're gonna have the phase 4 altcoin season. Then everything's gonna come crashing down for the next 2 years. Have you talked about that? With your wife? Have you just discussed? Because I know your wife is investing in crypto, so. Both you guys.
Cut that agree. Yeah.
This is somebody who told me this. They said buying in at the right time when it's low, when it's earliest and cheap, is equally as important as selling at the right time.
Absolutely. Yeah. No two ways about it. It's something that I'm constantly thinking about. Like, how much do I sell? When do I sell? And obviously, it's we've got a handful of different assets, and I have to say, I've got some ideas, but it's not like I've got a cast iron sort of pinpointed exact exit point. But I've got some rough ideas. The main thing is, like, from what I learned from the last time, is manage your emotions, and by that, the greed, the euphoria. I got caught up in all of that. Like many people, I thought I only had money in Bitcoin because that's all I knew at the time. But, I think I must have put in $6.5 grand, and that $6.5 grand turned into about 24. And there was all of this kind of euphoria going on, and all of this just like, it's going to hit this price, it's going to hit that price. And, I drank that Kool-Aid until I was drunk. And then, obviously, when everything started to crash, I was still caught up in that euphoria mode. It took me a while to wake up. So, I will definitely not be doing that. And I suppose I will probably start, like how you dollar cost average into positions, I will start to taking certain amounts at certain prices. Because obviously, calling the top, very, very difficult to do. And those that do it, often it's a fluke. But having a price range is important. And I've got a couple.
Yeah, you did mention earlier is that, you plan on figuring out when's the best time to sell, and then you plan on buying back. In my opinion, I don't know if that's a good idea, especially if we have only 4 months left. The last 4 months at the end of this bull run, you should just be cashing out and putting things on stablecoin. Or maybe I interpreted wrong.
Buying back? I think I said something wrong then. No, my buyback will probably be, well, not probably, my buyback will be in the bear market.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're talking about exit strategy, so I suppose I've got a price range where I would take a certain amount at certain prices, but yeah, I'm looking to be exiting, definitely, because it's not profit if you don't take it. And I've heard so many times where people have there's examples where people have kind of not taken profit at the right time and then regretted it. So I am mindful that definitely towards sort of like the end of this year, beginning of next, I'm taking that profit. Otherwise, it's just gonna melt away, Brian. I don't want that. So I do. It's a range as opposed to set prices. But yeah, I won't get caught like that because I've seen what happens when you get too caught up in the it's going to keep mooning forever mentality. So I've got a little bit more of a better understanding now. So I'm looking forward to it, to be honest with you. I'm quite excited.
Yeah. And for some of you guys that are listening and you're asking, what is BP's strategy? Like what he plans on doing? Me personally, I plan to focus on cryptos that I have a good idea what's a good exit target, because at the end of this bull run, you're going to get to the point where you're going to have to like either place an exit because where you think it will be, or where you have a more confident feel of where it's going to be based off of understanding and reading charts and analytics. That's why I usually just kind of listen to what my mentor tells me, and I just sell whenever he sells. It's just the easiest safe proof. But so for you, I always try to look out for my friends that have not experienced the bull run and the big bear crash in 2017. Even my mentor Big Lou, he lost over 1.3 million because he did not set low exit targets, early exits. So definitely want to.
Ouch.
Yeah. And
Sorry, how much?
1.3 million. Yeah.
You see, you say that, and I feel like my heart breaking slow. Ooh.
Yeah, I think he might be listening. He might be like, brother, why are you telling people this? But yeah, I mean, it was, well, why do you say that? It makes your heart break.
No, obviously it's all relative, but over 1 million lost. That's just the idea of that. I mean, you hear people sort of like talk about their journeys and how much they've lost, and when it's amounts that you've never had before. I mean, like this, £1 million is no joke, or dollars, and to lose that, that's just like, whew. It's just like, I suppose somewhere in the thinking, it's the thought of, how would I feel if I lost that amount of money? And because it's beyond where I am, it's unfathomable. So that's where it's just like, I'm hearing it, I'm thinking, whew. But sometimes that's the game. I guess the key thing is to be able to lose it and make it back, or ideally not lose it at all. But yeah, I heard that and I was like, wow, that's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
But salute to him because it's still in the game. So that's props.
So let me ask you something. Everybody has their method of doing research. What really surprises me is when I do my own research, I get excited and I try to tell people that's in crypto, like, oh my gosh, you got to invest in this. This is going to be great. And like for example, that cryptocurrency Ken, I would tell everybody to invest in Ken, and there are people for a whole year. They're like, we don't want to invest in Ken. We found something better. So it's what amazes me is that what the reason why people invest in coins, even though when you try to give them good advice from people that's been doing it for years and did the research, it's because of marketing, or they maybe watched a video and the guy was speaking real savvy. My question is with you, why did you invest into the coins that you invested? What did you invest? What are your top 5 picks?
Right. So so my top ones at the moment. I mean, obviously, me and the missus, we share. So, Cardano, XRP, we've got some Harmony, Hot. I got into BBYXRP just because, it's, I'll explain the reasons. What else have I got?
How did you hear about BBYXRP?
Well, listen, man, crypto, I don't play with crypto. I'm listening to stuff all the time. I'm either on the way to work, I'm checking stuff. How did I find out about it?
Yeah.
I've got a Patreon group that I'm part of.
Okay.
And it came up in the Patreon group. And it's interesting because I'm pretty certain that I saw you on one of the AMAs or something. It looked like your profile. It was like a little flash. Have you ever been on any of this? Have you been on their AMA?
Oh yeah, on the AMA. Yeah, actually, I know Tendy Man. I know the founder.
It was you then. Yeah, it was you then. Because I was on there one time, you weren't there for very long, and I thought, I swear that's BP, but I didn't get a good look. But yeah, so I found out about that through one of my Patreon groups, which was part of my research. It's like a little thing that I signed up to, where they also discuss cryptos and a lot of it's on the Binance Smart Chain. Some of them are kind of pump and dump, but quite a few of them
and I do want to interject there. Those you guys that are listening to this YouTube channel, BabyXRP, I highly would recommend, is definitely a good coin for you to invest. Actually, I know the founder, Tendy Man. He's actually Filipino. Him and I, we actually communicate back and forth. I actually sent them a video of like what I do in the Philippines, help feed the kids in the Philippines, and he shared me one of his videos of what he did, and you know, it's just like he seems like
Yeah,
a
I saw it
brother.
as well. I was touched.
Yeah, he seems like like you know, a brother from another mother, you know. And so I told him, I said, once we do well in this crypto, you know, at the end of this bull run, I said I could see us doing stuff together. I plan on visiting the Philippines soon, so I plan on connecting with him. So that's awesome, you know. That
Wow.
you
Small world, man.
yeah. So I mean, young guy, man, he's younger than me, and you know these
Driven, yeah.
I
They
wish
seem
I
very
was.
driven and like good reputation.
Yeah. So what was it about BabyXRP? If other people that are interested in investing in BabyXRP, what are some three, you know, key points? I'm actually going to share this to the to the founder. I said, look, man, we you know we give a shout out to BabyXRP in our YouTube channel. Like
It's madness. So what got me into it?
yeah, what got you
Was
into
your-
BabyXRP? Yeah.
Okay, I mean, well, XRP is one of my biggest holdings.
Right.
And so the name automatically caught my attention. I thought, baby XRP, because you know we're in a craze where there's baby everything, isn't there? You got baby Doge, you got all these little baby coins coming up. So when I heard that, I kind of thought, okay, another meme coin and stuff. But then when it was explained, and they said that you could actually get rewards in XRP for holding the token,
I thought that was amazing.
I was like, well, so it was a light bulb moment for me. I was like, okay. And then as the guy was explaining it, he talks a bit about the team, because obviously the team behind the project is so important. And, you know, I was quite moved, I was quite sort of impressed with the fact that, you know, it was a team that had a solid reputation. So, I mean, I must admit, it didn't take much. I mean, it just felt right. When I heard that, decent team, so unlikely to get rug pulled, you know, I liked the kind of, I liked the way it was marketed. It's kind of, you know, it's got that cartoony, slightly memey feel to it, but then they're actually doing real things. They're going out and doing charitable work and helping people and making a difference. And, you know, I think for me, being in crypto, and I know a lot of the people in the ICE group are like that too, that whole thing of doing good with your wealth is something that many of us are feeling. So when I heard that, and then you're getting paid in XRP, and then it just ticked all the boxes for me. Something just in my mind said, you know what, you need to get in on that. So yeah, I mean I wouldn't say that I'm a massively big holder, but I put a couple of grand in there. So I think I'm holding something like 400 billion tokens or something like that. So
that's nice.
So I'm just holding that and getting those rewards. So yeah, I mean it's you know, it's a new project, and you know, when it's new and there's like a little volatility, people get scared and that. But you know, at the end of the day, if you believe in the fundamentals, then you don't pay too much attention to that. But I'm just interested to see where the project goes. It's got a good feel to it.
Yeah, I got a feeling when XRP when they pass the SEC and then XRP pumps to like $10, you're gonna see baby XRP just follow the dad. You know what I mean? Just.
I could see doing some interesting. It's got, you know, time will tell, but you got to go with your conviction. So it kind of it feels good. And like I said, I like what they're doing. They seem quite transparent, and you know, and you know, them rewards. It's that passive income is something that interests me very much. And that's one of the things that got me into Celsius, because I store quite a few of mine on Celsius now. Shout out to JS, our Celsius ambassador.
Javier,
you know what I mean? So
those guys that are listening.
You know.
Yeah, Javier, one of the guys in our groups, you know, one of the OGs.
Yeah, gotta show some love.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Celsius.
Yeah, man. So it's passive income.
Yeah, passive income. I actually just got into mini USDC. I ate into that. Yeah. And one of the reasons why I ate into mini USDC is because they're actually creating it's called cryptogram. So picture Telegram and Google Ads for cryptocurrency, and I guess Amazon all in one and crypto related.
Whoa.
Yeah, and so basically what they're projecting, what's going to happen with cryptogram is everyone's not going to go on Discord. Everyone's not going to go on Telegram anymore. Everyone's going to end up going into Cryptogram. And the way it's going to do that, this is right now. I think they have about 10,000 users, and so imagine 10,000 people. They tell 10 people. That's 100,000, and then 100,000 people tell another 10 people. That's 1 million, and 1 million people tell 10 people. 10 million users. 10 million people tell. That's how things can grow organically. And this is something, I'm glad we're talking. This is something you may want to consider into investing into mini USDC. My top holdings is mini Shiba Inu. I guess I'm just have a passion for it. Mini USDC and Kin. But mini USDC is the new one that I've added, and one of the things that I learned about it is that if you own the token of that, Cryptogram is the company. The token is actually mini USDC is actually what Cryptogram uses as kind of like a stock. Like if they're trying to get investors to invest into Cryptogram, they say, well, instead of going to Robinhood and purchase our stock, why don't you just purchase a mini USDT token, DC token, and that will help build revenue and help expanding our company Cryptogram. And the beautiful thing about it is that when you own mini USDC, you actually own a share of Cryptogram. So every 3 months, when everyone gets paid out, you also get paid out reflections of profit shares in your trust wallet or in your wherever wallet where you have mini USDC token. So let's say you put $10,000 in mini USDC, and then all of a sudden the market cap right now is probably, I think, about 2.5 million, and it goes to over $1 billion market cap. Not only that, you will get reflections every single day through, just like BBYXRP. You also get reflections when people buy and when people sell. But every 3 months, you get paid. You get paid a good amount. This is annoying. This dog outside is barking.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Sometimes I got to bark, man. It's all good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually, when I upload a video, one guy made fun of my videos. He says, wow, it sounds like you recorded that, in the bathroom or something. You need to get a better mic. I'm like, oh, man. I can't believe he said that. How did he know? No.
It's interesting though, isn't it? When people, it does interest me, because I've seen comments like that on YouTube before, and it's kind of like, but what about the message though? What about the content? People, what do they critique about? Bro, you need better lighting. Bro, you need a better this. And it's like, well, actually, it's more about that kind of just coming together, sharing ideas, and trying to inspire one another than having the sickest recording equipment or I don't know. I just kind of think it says something about the mindset when people hear content and that's what they've got to say. I'm just like, come on.
I think some of those people are like some of these people that they're stuck with a 9-to-5 job and their boss telling them, you need to do this, you need to clean the toilet, and then when they get home, they're on social media.
Yeah, I see where you're going.
Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. They want to just vent it all out.
You know that now I'm just going to sit behind my laptop and troll. Now I've got the power. Yeah. Now I was the abused, and now I'm going to abuse people online. It's terrible, but I think you're probably right. There's definitely an element of that out there. I don't know.
It's
not good. It's not good.
I guess without getting too personal, you know what I mean. But what has crypto? How has crypto really impacted your life with your family in a way? How I was able to buy my wife a brand new Lamborghini, or I don't know,
I'm not at that level yet. I'm not. But how's it impacted on my life? Okay, I mean, to be honest with you, it's impacted it on a very practical level in the sense that before it was a dream of how do I change my life? How do I get out of this working class kind? Nothing wrong with being working class, by the way, but how do I change how my life is at the moment on a financial level? And for years it was just like a dream. it was just like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if? And it went from that to, actually, I really want to try and do something. So I've not arrived at that place where I'd say that, yeah, of course, you know, but I'm actually seeing results. And for me, that's powerful. I've put money into something that has seen profit. I've kind of, you know, after losing lots of money in different things that didn't work, I've made profit, and then I've been able to talk to my missus and be like, you know what, let's put a little bit more in. So we've put all of our savings into crypto, and we're actually seeing it grow, we're seeing it build, and now we're seeing passive income come back through that. And it's like, knowing something intellectually is one thing, but actually seeing the results and seeing the profit and being able to kind of like go out and like know that even if your bank account is saying that much, you look at your crypto wallet and you can smile. So it's like, you know, cash poor on the way to being crypto rich. So I suppose it's kind of like you're winning the lottery in slow motion. You can actually see the light at the end of the tunnel.
I like that.
As opposed to just, you know.
I love that.
But I mean, I suppose the other thing is being able to talk to my family and friends about it's nice as well, because obviously it's not all about, yeah, I'm just going to floss and get money, and then it's nice when you start seeing something that's actually a real opportunity to kind of pass it forward a little bit. So, you know, I do take the opportunity to try and talk to friends and family, and some of them have tried it, and some of them, like one of my friends, she saw some profit, and she was like, I had to do some real stuff. I had to take the profit and buy my kids a school uniform. I mean, that was a need, but she took action, and she was able to do that with the profit. And if she never put anything in, she wouldn't have even had that. So it's just nice starting to see some of my people have their own stories, and they're kind of telling me about cryptos that I've not even heard of. So they're then going off and doing their own research. So it's empowerment. That's what it really is. You know, you can actually transform your life and pass it on and see that chain reaction of change and empowerment. It's delicious. Yeah.
You know, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a moment where maybe it was just like a conversation, you know, you're trading with your wife crypto, and then both y'all decided to make maybe a bad trade, and you're like, babe, let's not do that again. Yeah, let's just don't sell, just leave it. Like, you ever had an experience when, you know, I'm pretty sure you know, share some of your hiccups in investing.
I mean, I suppose I'm trying to relate, because the thing is, we don't trade. All we do is hodl. Nice. You know, at the point where I was bold enough to speak to my missus and be like, we need to go all in on this. I'd kind of already established a certain. You see, I'm not clever. I'm a practical guy. I'm not technical. So I like basic, dumb, stupid stuff that works. So for me, hodling until the end of this year, the end of this cycle, I could explain that to anybody. But when you go too technical, and people that, some people have got very complicated strategies in crypto. That's not me. I'm a simpleton. So I was able to show results relatively quickly. And then, so in terms, going back to your question about bad trades, the simple answer is no. I mean, I've been lucky in the sense that by the time I spoke to my missus and we went on it together, I had enough basic knowledge. I was sticking to basic fundamentals, and I just said one thing to her: the market's going to drop, it's going to do some madness, but we stick to our guns. I've said that before she put the money in, and we've agreed on that. But prior to that, I had many a conversation where I had to eat some humble pie, Brian, and be like, babe, I feel like Britney Spears because oops, I've done it again. I ain't lying to you, but I was actually sitting there thinking, you know what, if I don't turn this around, I'm going to be on a park bench drinking brandy from a brown paper bag with a big old beard talking about I used to have that lifestyle where I was married. I used to have to respect. So I kind of think, yeah, I went for a stage of, you know, hemorrhaging some dough. And I have to say, she was quite patient. And yeah, so it wasn't so much an argument, but we had those sort of, that awkwardness, because money is a funny thing. It can, especially in relationships and stuff, it can put a lot of pressure. So yeah, I've had some hairy moments, no two ways about it. But through perseverance, you know, we were able to turn it around. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I've definitely seen some challenging times with the old finances, trying to crack the code on how do you invest successfully. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go, guys. Oops, I did it again. That's what happens. Not that innocent. When people panic sell, when they see their portfolio, how many times do you see that happen, right? You know, you see like I remember when Dogecoin went up to like 60 something cents. All of a sudden on my Facebook, everybody was like posting Dogecoin, I'm rich. And then like the next week it's like crickets. What happened?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, yeah, like literally that's what happened. All of a sudden you heard like in the background, you know, that Britney Spears song. Oops, I did it again. And I think that's one of the biggest problems, that people are like so frustrated. They're like, I'm sick and tired of waiting so many months to be a millionaire. I just want to be a millionaire fast. Especially when they see their peers in other Telegram groups. They're like, oh my gosh, I made this, you know. And you know, one of my lessons that I've learned is that, you know, when I try to help people, do not post your gains, because it could cause a FOMO effect. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
If you want to tell people to invest, tell them to invest when it's at the bottom, and then once you make your gains, just keep it to yourself, because what's going to end up happening is they're going to FOMO, and they're going to put everything in there, and then it's going to drop, and they're going to blame you. You're the one that told me to buy this, and it dropped. And that happened to me before, so I learned my lesson, you know?
Yeah, and that's good advice. I mean, I had somebody hit me up, I think it was yesterday. In fact, I posted something in the ICE group because somebody asked me a question, and I did say, look, you got to make your own decisions and stuff. And I gave my ideas, and, you know, a couple of guys responded, and I, you know, sent just for kind of diversity of thought and stuff. But yeah, I think I've heard it a lot in many of the many of the sort of like videos that I've seen on crypto. Those disclaimers: this is not financial advice. You got to do your own research. You know, I'm not. What you do with your money, it's your decision. And I can see why people bring that up a lot, because yeah, people can be quite quick to sort of blame and stuff. You know, not everybody. Me personally, you know, when I hear about different coins that people are talking about, if I invest in them, no one's put a gun to my head. And if it doesn't work, I made a decision that didn't work. And you just have to you got to dust yourself down and get back on that horse and just ride out. But I do get that for some people there's a bit of a blame sort of mentality. So yeah, I hear that.
Okay, here's my question. This is the $1 million question. You ready?
Well, I don't know. Shoot, and I'll let you know if I'm ready. No, go for it.
When you make your $1 million, can you give it to me? No, I'm just kidding.
Put it this way: by the time I get to $1 million, I'm expecting you to be way into yours, mate. Way ahead, and that's good. Sorry, what is your question? What is your question? Go for it.
Well, my question is, you've done a lot of research, okay? So a lot of times when I interview people, you know, they're supposedly these crypto gurus. I've done this, I've done that. But, you know, people like you that's been doing it, you know, for a couple of years, and you did your research.
Not long.
It's still valuable. So with all the hours and hours of intensive research, and I'm like, hey, I'm just starting in crypto. What should I do? What is your one strategy or one method? Your method could be buying 3 coins and holding it, or whatever. What is your one strategy that you feel confident with all the knowledge I've known? This is what I would recommend you doing. Not financial advice, quote unquote. But if it was me, this is what I would do to become a millionaire in slow motion.
Right. Whew, you're really making me think, man. And it's funny, you know, because some of these questions, like as we're talking, some of it I'm just flowing and talking. It's just, yeah. In the back of my mind, I know people are listening, but it's cool. But then you ask me certain questions, and I become very aware that actually quite a lot of people are listening. I need to really think about this one. Right. I would say, I'll keep it nice and simple, and I would say, hodl. I would say, and that might get a mixed sort of like, people might have mixed ideas about that, and I guess it depends on when I'm talking to people. But generally speaking, for people that have a plan to be in crypto long term, I would recommend.
Wait. Okay, go ahead. Continue. I wanted to say
generally speaking, I'd recommend a hodl strategy just as a basic. And if people want to learn more complicated strategies after that, you know, I'm a big believer in order to be a master of anything, one must first master the basics. So I always go in at that base foundational level, and for me, it's been quite useful. I mean, since then I've gone off and tried to do a little bit of flipping, but my fundamental kind of stance on crypto is having a longer term mentality. That will be the key thing. I mean, obviously, it's about, you know, look into projects. Don't just put money into anything just because somebody told you. Get a basic understanding of crypto. You know, why crypto is value, what it does and stuff. But as a strategy, once you put your money in, I would encourage hodling and passive income. Yeah.
You know what I was thinking, man? As I was asking you that question, like, what is your strategy? I was thinking about, what would I tell people? You know? And I just came up with a
good question.
I just came up with a new method. Tell me, what do you think about this? All right?
Okay.
So, what I would tell people, you know, how do I become a millionaire in slow motion? Oh, you know what? I think that'd be a good title video. Of
it would actually. I think it would get people's attention.
How to
become a millionaire in slow mo.
How to be a millionaire in slow motion. I think people will watch. And they'll probably fast forward. Come on, get to the meat and potatoes. Okay, guys, finally.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Patience. You need patience.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. How you become a millionaire? After 43 minutes, we're finally coming to the conclusion. The way you become a millionaire in slow motion. Okay. The short answer is hodl. Okay, but in reality, you know, what you really need to do is don't even look at it as a millionaire in slow motion. You know, we should title it, How to Attain Financial Freedom in Slow Motion, okay? For example,
I like that too.
Yeah, for example, if you lived in California and rent costs like, you know, $4 or $5K a month and all your bills, yeah, you know, being a millionaire, it really does not mean that you have financial freedom because you're stuck to your 9-to-5 job. You know what I mean? So my thing, this is what I would do. Okay, how do you get financial freedom in slow motion in crypto? What I would do is stay single.
You are terrible.
Okay, I threw that out there. I know some of you guys are probably listening like, okay.
Well, that might be an option for some people, you know.
Okay, so
things, but yeah.
Okay, guess what so this is what I'm trying to say. So, for example, some people, I guess minimum wage salary, they need about 2 to 3K a year. Okay, so if they, 2 to 3K a month. I'm sorry. So if they need 2 to 3K a month, we're looking at, you know, probably about, you know, 20 to 30,000, maybe 40K a year they need to make. Some people, so middle class people, you can live like that, especially in, you know, in the southern states like Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida. So let's look at that. Okay, first of all, what I would do is instead of saying which coins do I need to invest to make me a millionaire, when should I sell, how about this? Invest all the coins that you love. You just love the people, you love the technology. You know, if it's 5 coins, 6 coins, I mean, it's all about having fun, right? It's all about enjoying what you're doing. You know. So if I were you, invest all the coins, and then whatever you do, if your budget, if you say I need at least 40,000 a year, I mean 40,000 a year, so that means you would need to make $500,000 profit, and you could put that into the S&P 500 and live off of dividends 8%, or you could put it on a stable coin and get to 8%. So that's about 40,000 a year. So you want to figure out what exactly is the amount of money you need to have financial freedom. So if it's 40K, then you need to make $500,000 in crypto. If it's 80,000 a year, that will give you financial freedom. You need to make $1 million. Now you figured out the marker dollar amount, how much you need to make. What you do, this is how you have financial freedom in slow motion. Invest in crypto, buy this, buy that, $100 here and there, and whatever ones is your favorite, just keep buying. And whatever you do, never sell until it hits that mark, and that's it.
Strategy. No, actually, I like that. Diversity of thought. This is why it's good to kind of shoot the breeze on these kind of subjects, because you know, it really does get you looking at things from different angles, and maybe you kind of adjust your strategy a little bit, because it's a very good thing to be thinking about. And I have to say, you know, financial freedom, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, the million figure is lovely. I mean, most people, you know, you hear songs about it. Most people have dreamed about having $1 million. But, you know, it's interesting what you say about financial freedom, because for most people, you don't need millions. I suppose over time you do, but in terms of like on an annual basis, what you need to live off, you know, you don't necessarily need £1 million a year.
You're right.
Some people might. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're going to Lambo it up and be living in the mansions and all of that, so cause I think the other side of this whole thing, in terms of like trying to, you know, investing in crypto, is like, if you're bad at handling money, no matter how much money you make in crypto, if you're bad with money, you're bad with money. So I think it's important to know how to handle money as well. Because, you know, I don't know if you've ever thought about like people that come into money quite quickly, like some of these millionaires. You hear crazy stories about people like having 3 million, 4 million, and then years later they're broke because they just got on a hype and didn't know how to handle money. So, you know, one of the things that I'm often trying to think about is just that kind of that financial literacy, and, you know, being able to keep a calm mind. So basically the psychology behind money. Because I mean, obviously we all want to do well, but then it's once you kind of start arriving at a place where you're doing better, the decisions that you start making with your money. So yeah, it's just, you know, it's all interesting things to be thinking about, because it's like preparation for that moonshot. And we all want that moonshot, don't we?
Yeah, well, you're right about that. You know. So, what are your coins? What would you say? Invest in these coins, and you'll have financial freedom in slow motion. I mean, everybody knows Bitcoin and Ethereum. What would you recommend? Buy down?
What would I recommend? I don't do recommendations. I mean that's the whole thing, isn't it? I mean, I kind of think there are many awesome projects out there, and I suppose it kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier about, you know, investing in coins that you love. And I suppose, you know, you can do a deeper one on that and say invest in projects that you have a genuine interest in. And one of the things that I was thinking when you said that earlier is that if you're just investing on a hype, you know, there's nothing really attaching you to it. So like, at the flip of a hat, any negative news, any FUD, you know, you're not solidified in anything. You don't even know why you've invested in it. So it's probably more easier for people to kind of start sort of like doing nonsense and making emotional decisions. But when you've kind of invested in a project that you kind of understand enough to kind of feel that it's worth investing in. Maybe you like the fundamentals, maybe you like the technology, but you've got a reason beyond, oh, it was going up in price, I put money in. That's always helpful. So I suppose my advice would be invest in projects that resonate with you as an investor. And it's going to be different for everyone. So I guess that's why it's difficult to sort of like, you know, but I mean, I've invested in, I mean, my main ones are, I mean, Cardano, XRP are probably my biggest ones. And with Cardano, when I started looking at it, I was quite intrigued to be like, okay, so, you know, this guy kind of was involved in Ethereum, kind of went off, done his own thing, and so he's probably seen some of the flaws of Ethereum, and while starting his own project, looked to kind of filter out some of those flaws, so hence you've got a more superior product potentially. So, you know, the more I looked into Cardano, it just kind of, it just made sense. And at one point I even came to the ICE group actually, and I was trying to work out Ethereum or Cardano, like the ROI perspectives, but also Cardano being a more, you know, so it's all that interesting stuff, but it's the research, and again, having a community is always important, because, you know, some of the responses that I got from you guys helped me to kind of like confirm certain things that I was thinking and made me rethink about some of the things that maybe weren't so on point. So, but again, it's about having understanding of the project. XRP, I know there's a lot of people that hate XRP just generally in the crypto world. And if I'm honest with you, that was part of the reason that I felt drawn to it, because I'm like, wow, why do so many people hate this coin? And then obviously I started looking at sort of, you know, the common reasons for it being hated. Like it's not the ideological concept of crypto, you know, supporting financial institutions, not being decentralized and what have you. But as I started to look into it more, I found myself being more intrigued by it. And then looking at the fundamentals and stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm an investor, I want to make money. And having a diverse portfolio made sense. So I'm kind of thinking, well, if they're working alongside financial institutions, might not be a bad idea to kind of invest in that. That was just the business side of me thinking. So, but yeah, so with all of the drama that we've had with XRP, because of my understanding of it, I've brought more along the way. It hasn't really shaken me out of my position. So yeah, going back to it, my advice is just look at a bunch of projects and see what you feel drawn to, understand the fundamentals, and know why you're investing in it. Because I think it helps your survival as an investor. I feel like I said a lot. I feel like I went on a tangent. I'm going to stop now. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that.
That's good. That's good. So I know some of you guys are probably listening, and it's like, okay, guys, y'all are talking, but please just give me just this one nugget. How can I attain financial freedom slowly by, you know, investing in crypto? Well, here's one strategy. Today, if you invested $1,500 in a cryptocurrency, it's called Kin. Kin is an application underneath the ecosystem of the Solana blockchain.
Kin Daddy.
Yeah, Kin. And so the thing about it I wanted to say is that I was talking to my mentor, Big Lou. Okay, so my mentor, whenever he gives a conservative exit target at the end of the bull run, what ends up happening is it either hits that price or even further. So where I gauge and how I invest my money is I find someone who has more experience than me, and I say, well, tell me your top coins and what is your low exit, mid exit, and high exit. Okay, so I talked to him about Kin, and he said conservatively he sees Kin hitting 3 cents in 2025 and hitting 6 cents in 2025. So I calculate, okay, if you put $1,500 today, okay, and you would own about approximately 14,672,173 Kin tokens, okay, and if you just didn't touch it, you know, leave it as your moon bag, you don't sell it until 2025 or whenever it hits that price. It might hit earlier, but definitely by 2025. Big Lou said conservatively, Ken would hit 3 cents. So $1,500 exited at 3 cents, you would profit $440,165. You take that and you put that into like S&P 500, live off the interest. So you're looking about 44,000, approximately 45 K. That you can live off of dividends, and especially if there's stable coin, there's interest. You can live off of that and just don't take your initial investment out. Just take out. And so those of you guys that are your budget is I just need at least 40K a year. Well, this is one method in how to attain financial freedom slowly by investing $1,500 in Kin today and don't sell them at 3 cents. So that's my tip. So anyway, real quick, I got a question that will make you stretch your mind. You ready for another mind? Are you there? Oh wait, I think I lost you. Hold on. Hey Marlon, are you there? I think we got disconnected. I can't hear you. Let me hang up and try calling back. Yo! Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, earlier I could hear you. We got disconnected, okay?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there because I could hear you, but you couldn't hear me, and it was like, no!
Oh man, that's crazy. Okay, here we go. You ready for another mind bender question?
I'm going to take a deep breath and say yeah.
Okay. Tell me your different stages of your mentality phase from when you first started in crypto, when you're like, all right, I'm going to get into crypto because this is my perception of what I think crypto will be. Maybe I'm going to be a millionaire in a month. And then phase 2, reality sets in. It's going to take a little bit longer. How was your mindset in phase 2? And then phase 3, it's going to take a lot longer. And then phase 4, oh my gosh, we're about to be, wealthy in about 4 months because the bill run is going to come in 4 months and then we're all going to be wealthy. So break down your mentality phases and how you've grown so much. This phase 1, where were you? Where was your mindset?
Oh, wow.
In phase 2?
Why are you doing this to me, man?
Because...
Okay, I'm going to explain it the best way I can because it's like, yeah, right. So, the first stage is quite easy. I was completely clueless about crypto. So it was more, I was searching for something and it was more gambling and just hype. I heard about Bitcoin. I knew very little about it. And it was kind of like, you know what? If I throw enough mud, something's got to stick. So it was more like gambling. And there was definitely that kind of, wow, I put this money in, and week by week it's going up. I'm going to be rich. So I can relate to that. And it's quite funny looking back at it. But I was sitting there dreaming about, not having to work anymore and all this kind of nonsense. And reality hit me pretty hard, pretty fast. So, when my dreams of becoming an overnight millionaire were smashed by the reality of the soon to come bear market, I felt disappointed, but then at the same time I came away with profit. But I also came away sort of like, when you come off a roller coaster ride, you had a good time, but you're kind of a little bit shaken up.
Yeah.
It was a bit like that. And I didn't really mess with crypto again for maybe about a year. So that was my first experience and my mindset then. And I think when I came back and got into it, what was my mindset then? My mindset was more serious because I acknowledged that what I'd done was basically gambling, and I was lucky that I didn't lose all my money because I came away with some profit. So when I came back and got into it again, there was more of a serious attitude. I still think I had unrealistic expectations. Not think I did, but probably less realistic. Sorry, probably less unrealistic than the first time. So, you know, I put some money into some stuff without thinking, and that was a bad idea. Lost some money. So I went into a bit of a depression. Not enough to stop me.
Wait. Let's pause right there. Because
oh, you want to talk about my misery?
Everybody wants to. No. Well, not talk about your misery, but let's talk about how we could. Yes, but let's talk how people could survive after that misery. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Yeah.
What was your mental anxiety through that process? You know what I mean? What were your fears, and how do you overcome those fears in that phase when you went through depression?
Yeah, I mean, how did I overcome it? I think, to be honest with you, I just had to be honest with how I was feeling, and be careful who I told those feelings to. So it was a lot of reflecting and thinking, and you know, feeling silly, feeling like crap, you know, rug pulls, scams, all that kind of stuff, you know, because it just felt like failure. It just felt like, you know, that the uncertainty, you know, you put some money in before, you kind of came up with some profit, and then you've done this thing again, and that's not worked, and that's not worked, and this one, you know, so it was that whole thing of, you know, should I be in crypto? You know, maybe I'm not one of them people that should be invested. Maybe I should just go back to my 9 to 5 and do what I know, because better the devil you know than the devil you... So I had all of these thoughts running through my head, and I started really questioning, is that something that I should be listening to? And, you know, by nature, I do try to be quite level-headed in my thinking and not have opinions solely based on emotion. And, you know, I've had this long-standing sort of view that failure is only really failure when you give up before you've arrived at where you want to be. So, you know, I was looking at that whole thing of, do I just throw in the towel because I'm just losing money? Do I just kind of write it off and just consider that I tried? And in the back of my mind, something just said no. And in the back of my, there was something that just said, well, at this point, if you stop, then you've definitely failed. But what happens if you move forward and you're successful later on? I started having those voices of, but what if? What if you were just at the brink of your breakthrough and you just don't push forward anymore? And I suppose that it felt like the point of no return for me, because I'm kind of like, well, I felt like I didn't really have much choice but to keep going forward after a while. So yeah, I had to wrestle some demons, and I had to really think about what sort of person I am, what do I believe in. Am I the sort of person that runs away from a challenge? Maybe runs away from a challenge is a bad way of looking at it. Am I someone that feels the fear and gives into it, or do I feel the fear and move forward because I have an intrinsic belief in what it is that I'm trying to achieve? So yeah, I just had to be very real with myself and what I was thinking, what I wanted to achieve, and just ask myself the basic question: how I'm feeling, is that helping my goal? And it wasn't. So I decided not to listen to all of those negative voices and move forward. Yeah.
Wow.
I hope I answered that all right.
Yeah.
Good question. I tell you what, man, you're making me work today, man. But it's good stuff. Good stuff. It's good to talk, because I don't. It's not stuff I think about a lot.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a way of, when you speak, it's very music to people's ears. You know, they want to hear.
Thank you.
They really
means a lot.
Yeah, they really want to hear, you know, your feedback. The thing about it is, people like you, it's very contagious. Your personality is so positive, and sometimes you have to like step away because it drains so much energy. Like I know, like it's draining my energy too. But a lot of times people actually like need my help for things, and they just need my encouragement in their life. But I realized that it's important because there were times in my life I needed that.
Absolutely, we all do. We all, no person is an island.
All right,
Very true.
Let me ask you one more question because I think we passed 1 hour. I think by the time we get here, other people will just kind of click out of the video. They're like, okay, I'm done. But
yeah, we've got it. But it's cool. But yeah, I get that there is a thing called time that we need to observe. I respect that.
Yeah. So here's my question. Okay, now without getting too personal, whatever you feel comfortable sharing, maybe not get too much a little bit in politics. Like, have you really considered about how to manage, your finances and mixing it with your job? What about COVID, the future of the economy? What exactly are you going to do to prepare to expect the unexpected? And another thing too, a lot of people say, well, I just want to make enough money so where I could have financial freedom. Like, are you going to still work, or are you just going to just go to the beach every day and sip on your pina colada? Like, what are some things and why? What is your why? Like, what are your future plans? And
good question. I mean, to be honest with you, in the immediate, I envisage that I will be working, but I will be better off financially. I don't necessarily see that, after I make profits, that I'm necessarily going to be at a place where I'm ready to be like, yay, just give up work and, I'll do some stuff. I'll do some nice stuff with the family. You do positive things with your wealth where you can with wisdom. But I'll probably still be working. There could come a time where should things get to a certain level that I might look at early retirement. I mean, it's definitely the plan, but I'm kind of one of the things that I have learned through this crypto journey is patience, the need to sometimes extend on what your plans are, and the market gives you what the market gives you, because at the end of the day, I have no idea how much profit I will have by the end of this market cycle. I mean, obviously we can speculate all day long, and that's always fun for me, and I'm sure I'm not alone, but I really won't know until I get there. So, I'm not intending to necessarily just like give up work sort of like in the next 6 months. So I'll probably work a little while and then, and just see how things go. But I mean, ultimately early retirement is great, but it's not something that is in my immediate sort of range of view. It's more just about being in a better place financially and being able to live a better lifestyle, maybe buy a property, practical stuff like that, but stuff that's kind of uplifting in terms of expanding on your horizons. But I'll probably still work for a little while.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. This better not be the last AMA with you, because someone told me the other day, they're like, you know what, you need to continue doing interviews with just people, just about crypto, about life, because it helps them make decisions. See what you're going through, and your decisions, your mistakes, and your fears. People can relate to that.
I appreciate that.
So, any final pearls of wisdom that you want to share with new investors? Like, here I am, Marlon, signing off. And if you didn't learn anything in this AMA, you definitely learn this pearl of wisdom when it comes to crypto related. What would you leave?
Don't look at it as a get rich quick scheme, even though there are times where you can see profit quite quickly. Have an attitude of patience. Be a perpetual student. master the basics. Don't try to run before you can walk. Whatever you invest in, understand why you're investing in it. Be grateful for the profits that you get, and be grateful generally in life, and do good with your wealth.
That's good. That's good. Thanks a lot. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Thanks a lot. And you know what? When you hear, bro, you're gonna hear some nice music in the background. And you're gonna start. People gonna start crying because they're like, "Oh my gosh, Brian touched me." You know, the music and his words, it just touched my heart and my soul.
You're too much, you know.
Yeah. One guy messaged me. He was like, "You know what, BP? You know, I like your interviews, but you need to like not put music on there. You know, you should just leave it with just a recording." I'm like, "Shh, don't tell me not to do that, because if I don't put music, you could hear the dogs barking. You know what I mean? So I gotta have some music to blend and cover that noise."
Listen, man, you've just got to go with what resonates with you, man. Because you're always going to get people, try that, and you can't please them all. But yeah, a little bit of music. You know, it's your channel. You're doing your thing, man. But no, do you know what? Thanks for inviting me. And no, I mean, you know, hey, we'll talk again. We'll do another one of these at some point, if you know, when you're ready. If you know, it's good to kind of share, you know, because I kind of think we're all here to learn, and I try to have the mentality of being a perpetual learner. So we share and we all grow together, and you know, that's the beautiful thing about like the community that we've got in the ICE group, man. It's crazy. And I appreciate I might not comment as much, but I do check the comments, and I do feel a very strong connection with our family, you know. But it's for me, it's, you know, the whole thing of balancing your energies. I'm quite big on that. So sometimes I might go a bit quiet, but the love is still abundant. Everybody needs to know that the love's still abundant.
Yeah, and real quick, you know, Mara was talking about, you know, the ICE group. That's another Telegram group where, you know, we all help each other in crypto. But those of you guys that actually want to get connected with me, you guys that are listening, you can actually click down. There's actually a Telegram link of like my community, and you get to hang out with me and hang out with everyone, and you know, we all help each other out, you know. And
it's groovy energy, baby.
Right,